Welcome to the February 2017 edition of Farsight's Time Cross Project, where we use remote viewing to report the news to you the month before the major news events happen. I'm Courtney Brown, director of the Farsight Institute, and Time Cross is becoming an important project to watch. Now, with a history of the project dating back to May 2016, we have a long and uninterrupted series of successful episodes where Farsight remote viewers successfully predicted and described the major news events of a future month. Time Cross is no longer a curiosity. It is becoming an essential supplement to what many people normally watch on the mainstream news. Now, what you are watching now in this video is the raw news predictions for February 2017. And these remote viewing reports were done and uploaded to YouTube for all to see the month before, at the end of January 2017. Please remember to also watch our summary video for how our viewers did predicting and reporting the news of last month, January 2017. That summary video will be published around the 10th of February, so please be sure to look for it. I can tell you now that January 2017 was a spectacular month for our remote viewer reporters and a great start for what looks to be like a really amazing upcoming year. This is 2017, folks, a really big year. Change is in the wind, and from what we can see now, those winds are gale force. You'll want to follow our work each month. And now, on to our current results for February 2017. We have 3 remote viewers working this month: Dick Algire, Aziz Brown, and Princess Genet. Now, February 2017 looks like it will be a very event-packed month. We begin with reports by Dick Algire, followed by reports by Aziz Brown, and then Princess Genet.
Okay, continuing the Time Cross project. This is late January. I believe it's the 29th of January 2017 today. I'm looking ahead to events that will happen in February. Give me a minute. Some of this I'm doing as a tagging exercise, not exactly a formal session. I just kind of set my intent to get some visuals and tune in to events that I see coming up in the upcoming month. And my first one is fire. In pretty intense flames that are contained within a structure. I can see windows and structural supports surrounding the fire. So the fire is in a structure. It's got to be a significant fire if it's going to make news. I'm not getting a big sense of loss of life. Why would it be? Maybe it's a historical loss. So a big fire in a structure that is historically significant is a guess. These visuals kind of flicker in and out. I don't know if they're related. I see people running out of a structure. My immediate impression, what pops into my mind, is like prison break, although it might not be that. People run, flee, escape. It seems to be that inside the building is chaos, confinement, entrapment. And by getting out of the building, these people they want to get out and get away, flee, run, flee, escape, run, flee, escape. And they're out, and a door has been opened, an opening has been created that might not be a door. It might be some type of break in structural integrity but people running out. I also see raising swords and touching the tip of the swords. Now, when they do that, there's a sword art ceremony that signifies military men getting married. And I don't think this is that. Maybe it's like, God, it was so fleeting. It could be like two men, like politicians, leaders, world leaders, clasping hands and then raising their hands up in an almost like Nixonian type of salute. I sense that they're Putin and Trump type of thing. Maybe Trump is going to meet with Putin. If it's not them, it's somebody significant, important. It does feel political. It does feel countries coming to like an agreement, a partnership, announcing a new era of cooperation, that kind of thing. And I see that as a iconic picture. I'm just kind of flitting about in the ether, in the matrix. Things swim into my vision. These little flickering movies play, and I see like a violent confrontation, physical confrontation, punches, shoving, punching, kicking. A black man is falling down. He's crumbling down onto his knees. This would be something that's very likely caught on video, like cell phone video, amateur video. And now I see this black guy, this African American guy, laying down. I'm seeing him upside down. He's either unconscious, severely hurt, possibly dead. Another one of these events that the Black Lives Matter are going to rally around, like, oh, this violence to a black man, this poor guy, and we need to hold someone accountable, and there'll be a big uproar over this, that type of thing. I think I'm seeing another one of those. Just remembering all the images as I did pre-work on this. Sneaking around in a building like someone who's where they're not supposed to be, and they're like creeping in nighttime, stealthily, hiding in the shadows, hiding behind things. Like set up for a terrorist event type of thing, or up to no good. And then I don't know if this is related, but in a similar type of setting, a city type setting, a man in military gear, black SWAT team, like tactical gear with an assault rifle at the ready. I don't see him shooting, but could be law enforcement, some type of urban warfare type situation. I don't know if it's broken out into complete shooting, but a definite response that is called for, and it reminds me of scenes of Dallas when the police were shot and then the police responded on the street, that type of thing. So, and finally, you know, when you do remote viewing, you've got to be ready to put out whatever you see, and it's embarrassing to say this was what was in my vision, but a man lying on a bed, a heavy-set man. It's inside, it's in a room. He's naked. And then there's a woman, an attractive woman, nice hair. she's naked. She's, how do I say, servicing him. It's a sexual act. It's X-rated. I get the sense that this is like going to be used for blackmail, surveillance, something that is used against somebody, that type of thing. Scandalous. A scandal to ruin someone's reputation, but is it an allegation of this and it really happened and I'm seeing it, or am I seeing representation of a video that will be, I mean, this wouldn't be shown on TV, what I'm seeing. Blacked out stills, I don't know, we'll see. That just popped into my head. So definitely prurient, and I'm just putting it all out there. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more formal work now. I'm going to do an actual, that was, what I was doing there was what we call tagging, or like freebasing the matrix, just setting my intent to, okay, I'm going to see February. So now I'm going to take an actual target ID, and that target ID is 9 UEX-6 DHC. I don't like this pen. Let me get a better pen. Okay, so that represents a major news event that's going to happen in February. 9 UEX-6 DHC. I'm just going to call that a gross visual gestalt and not, I'm going to do some other work before I try to get more sensory data with that. Let's in this out. 9 vortex. Boy, here's a clattering sound. Smell of like debris. Debris has a smell. This is weird how sensory data comes to you in remote viewing. Smells of debris, broken building smell. That would be drywall that's broken, brick and mortar that's been, brick and concrete that is old and that has been crushed. I've been to events as a news reporter where there's been a destructive event, and it has a smell, and that's the smell I'm getting. Upturned earth, broken masonry, broken drywall, crushed concrete. I'm going off. This is not easy to do sometimes on camera. I haven't settled into this yet, so just let me. Textures of debris. I mean, I'm really getting the debris thing here. A wall that's off kilter, a wall that has collapsed and fallen down. Same kind of smell, broken drywall smells. Textures of shards, broken stuff, clumps, things that used to be whole that are now in pieces. Shards and pieces is the texture of this. Oh, I erased that one. I'll make a new ideogram. Okay. 9UEX-60HC. This visual is, God, that was a big sky. I see some structural stuff down here, irregular, might not be whole, and then big sky with a lot of clouds, glowing sky and structures, debris sounds, crunching. You walk on it, it makes like broken glass, gritty sounds, shifting sounds, clattering, crunching, muffled booms. Same smells of that broken stuff, and textures of mounds of rubble. Yeah, I see a pretty big landscape of broken stuff, piles of things. I'm not looking too good here. The sky is hazy, dusty. There's particulate in the air. I'm seeing this as an aftermath. I'm not getting the event itself, more the kind of aftermath with more piles and pieces and mounds of dusty, shifting rubble. Okay. Let me give this a... I'm going to look at land. I'm not sure about the scale of this. I see a lot of stuff in the air. Dust, haze, clouds. I don't want to invoke this, but like aftermath of 9/11, I don't know if this is that big of an event, but that reminds me of kind of ground zero 9/11 type thing. A tool here. Vital infrastructure. Cannot spell when I remote view. My spelling just goes out through. Vital infrastructure. Girders sticking up. I hear sirens in the distance, emergency sounds, people screaming, dust, cement. This is a destructive thing has happened here. Let me see if I can key in on structures. It was a wait. STR. Okay, there are other structures over here. There's a depression. There's like a, I don't want to call it a crater, but a depression. It's given way here. There are like girders exposed. Some have been knocked askew. Siren sounds, agitated voices giving orders, calling out, destruction, rubble. Seems pretty clear a building has at least collapsed. Yeah, I hear a big collapse sound. Civil defense. The thing is with something like this, especially working it like this, where am I what's the scale of it? Where am I crossing the line? I know with time cross we want more and more and more and more specific data. What's the cause? Where, but it's, I think I want to just keep it at this, an event that's an aftermath of a destructive event that involves some type of structure. It's pretty catastrophic. I'm going to do, we want to know where this is, so I'm going to try this. Okay, I'm going to try to get, see if I can determine a location on this collapsing kind of type of event. Okay, I've got these reference locations, and they are 4954, 5237, 8766, 5003, 9004, 8982, 9004, and 5395. I think I got a close enough look. Okay, I'll do the drill here. I'm doing this, by the way, live on camera, so wish me luck. This is as on the fly. 4954. Five two three seven. 5237. 8766. 8766. 5003. 9004. 8982. 9004. 5395. 5395. Okay, I don't know, I can't plot these right now. I mean, I can't say where they point because these are blind to me. What I need to do is take these, I need to get a protractor, measure these lines of bearing and azimuth, plot them, get the reference locations, correct for deviation, put it on a map, and we'll see what this, see if I've pointed anywhere significant. At least I got these on the record, and I don't know how good they are, but giving it a shot. So there we go, February time cross. Now we watch the news.
Hi, my name is Aziz, and today we'll be looking at a target that describes an event in February of 2017. The session was done solo under blind conditions in January of 2017. The target is 11165176. So I'm getting a lot of wetness, feels like water, extensive water. So it seems like there was also this sort of solid metal surface here that's sort of perpendicular, sticking out of the water. It feels metal, it feels tough, hard, sturdy, like it's thick metal, and it sort of seems to have this curve that moves down. So the water seems to feel like it's extensive, goes on for a long duration. It also seems to have this sort of moving, rippling effect, just sort of like waves. And the waves, as well as the extensiveness of the water, make me feel like this is a large body of water. So I definitely feel like there are parts inside the water that are not necessarily near the structure, where the water sort of meets a base surface that is gritty, has stones, sort of feels like there's rocky undertow, and just a rough, gritty texture with large objects of natural feel to it in parts like here that are not necessarily close to where this structure is, because the structure seems to go down into the water fairly deep, and that makes me believe that the base surface that is here doesn't have this same feeling of being in a shallow location as it does over here, where it seems like it's far deeper. So yeah, as this is moving outwards, it certainly seems like the water ends, and I will call this a land-water interface. So it seems like there's a land-water interface over there, there's water over here, the water goes into deeper areas where there seems to be a large metal structure that is apparent. So let's look closely to see what this structure looks like. So the structure seems to have sort of a, if I'm looking directly head on at the structure, it sort of seems like it looks like it dips far deep into the water like that, almost like a V, a little curved at the bottom though, but like a V. And there's this angular feeling on top. Like there's a V and it's angular, and the water is around about there. But if I wanted to look at it from the side, that'll be different. Okay, so from the side, it sort of seems like it's a much longer structure. Of course, with a water level and angular structures, a little bit more of a flat area around here, but angular structures that sort of seem to have a certain height around here, and yeah, sort of like a flat, more flattish open area a little bit up there, but for the most part just lots of angular structures that are apparent. So this is very small relative to the rest of the ship. It just seems like a very dominated by angular man-made metallic features that are around here, coating the ship really. So looking more at the structure on water, let's try to find out what's any target of focus. So it seems like there's also this, I'm picking up this black shapes, sort of like smoke or something like that. And it feels like this is emitting from a man-made surface. So a man-made surface with angular features around it. Again, feels like it's a man-made base surface with these tower of smokiness coming out of it. It feels like it's a little bit more cool, windy outside, but if you're inside the smoky-ish area, it feels like it's a significantly warmer place, so that leads to me to think that it's some sort of combustion, fire type of something, but that's just my guess. So it seems like there's subjects around it who are sort of just sort of frozen in this moment, staring at this cloud of expanding blackness, and they seem like they're kind of just blankly staring at it, sort of with a look of shock on their face. So let's investigate this one. So here, an enlarged version of this subject. Seems like these subjects are dressed in more of baggy attire. They seem like they have, I mean, this one seems like he's got some sort of headgear on, like a hat or something like that, or a helmet, and just sort of looking out at this mess. It sort of feels like the subject is experiencing worry, sort of thinking like a what do we do, what do I do type of feeling. There's sort of a shock staring out and not really any concrete decision being made at the moment. Sort of just seems like a worried individual who seems male and accompanied by a few other subjects on top of a man-made platform, and it seems like this is something that's occurring possibly on that vessel that we saw in the water. So it doesn't feel like it's an attack of some sort, though. It sort of makes me think, based on the reaction, based on what I'm perceiving and what's happening, I sort of feel like this is an accident. Sort of like a unfortunate turn of events. But I don't really feel like I've seen anything to make me discern that this is some sort of military attack or some bombing of some sort. But it just seems like this is just something that happened. These subjects are not quite sure why. They're just in shock and trying to figure out where do we go from now. So that's what I'm getting here. A water vessel near land that seems to be experiencing some worried subjects who are on a man-made surface that sort of has a bit of an accident that is involving an expanding black mass that has the potential of being fire-related or coal-related or something like that. But some problem. And that will conclude the data for target 11165176. Okay, now we will be looking at target 54884487. Okay, I'm getting a hard metallic surface that doesn't seem to have any base surface present. It seems like there is a base surface, but it's just not immediately below the hard metallic surface. Looking more at the shape of the surface, let's find that out. So it seems to have these wings near the back, but it's far more tubular. That, like, okay, so yeah, it seems like sort of a tubular, hard metal craft that's flying through the air that seems to have these sort of wings, but they don't really feel like airplane wings. They feel like they're small and towards the back of the craft, of the tubular craft. And it seems like this is moving at a fast velocity out in a lateral direction, sort of angled a little bit down. So when I try to look inside, I get this sense that there's electronics, gizmos, gadgets, just wires, other things that I'm not readily able to describe. Just feels like a lot of technology. Just a lot of electrical equipment. Just stuff that's gizmos, gadgets, technology. Okay. In the surrounding area, the land, the topography, I'm getting this sense of irregular, hilly landscapes that are full of slopes, peaks, not really jutting up mountains as much as rounded hills, that some of which they do seem pretty tall. Yeah, like they increase the elevation of the area significantly, but just hilly landscape, irregular topography. There is some sort of place where it's like a lowland valley type of thing down here, in which the hills then continue, but in this area, in that area, it seemed like there was a few angular structures here. Yeah, they make me feel like they're man-made angular structures here, and yeah, that trend sort of picks up. So I would say there's a light urban area in a hilly topography with some mountainous areas, but I wouldn't call them mountains, just hilly, irregular topography with a small flatland area in between that has some man-made structures. Well, let's see where the structure is in relation to this. Okay, so using T1, T2, and T3, let's go back and forth in time to find out the origin and the destination of the projectile thing, and how it moves across this landscape. So all right, so I'm getting if right here, here is the winged structure. It seems like it's moving down into this area right here. It seems like the tubular winged structure is in a downward path going into the far end of this semi-urban area that is in this sort of dryish, irregular topography landscape. So going back, let's try to find out where this came from. It seems like there's another there's sort of like this arrow shape that I'm seeing in the sky, and it looks like it's less of a tube and more of a triangular shape, where this is a bit more flush, but these wings are jutting backwards. They angle back in, and it sort of has this little tail, fishtail-like thing in there. But it seems like the structure that we were looking at earlier was flying outside of here. And it seems to move from there into that urban area. So as T2 turns into T1, it seems like this is moving at a fast velocity. So this is moving this way at a very fast velocity somewhere around there. And as it moves through the air, it shoots off this other metallic airborne structure that has some sort of exhaust coming off of it that is shooting at even a faster velocity in a downward direction, sort of on a collision course with some urban area down in a rural part of the world. Looking closer at the time between tweet T2 and T3, let's try to find out what exactly is going on inside this area, this urban area. So as before, there's this seems like the trajectory impacts at the base of a semi-tall structure, and whatever's there sort of seems like it's obliterated. It just seems like a big stain of black and red from explosiveness. And above here, not really red, but sort of an orangey flare. And above here, it seems like in this light urban area, it's not like a very population dense region. So not like Manhattan or something like that. I mean, it just seems like there has a feel of few subjects that are visible at the moment. So like in here, seems like there is a lone subject in the top of this structure, and yeah, this individual sort of seems like he's male and sort of just looking outside of this window, not really at anything in particular. Yeah, sort of, it just seems like he's in observation mode. Just sort of a little tense, a little anxious, but looking outside of the window with no real task as much as looking for something or someone outside of this window. So, yeah. This is concluding all the data we got for target 54884487. Thank you.
I'm getting a lot of commotion. Land seems to be a lot of structures, big city like, a lot of land, a lot of foliage. We have some what appears to be cloud dynamics. I'm going to draw the city or the building here in just a second. Okay. I have a very large city surrounding a large building of some sort that's around a lot of trees. Well, not a lot of trees, but enough trees where you can see them. This seems to be very urban. I'm smelling a lot of a lot of man-made smells like exhaust, car, burning, burning smells I'm not sure what's burning. We have a lot of subjects in different places, various places here. They're mostly inside, some outside, everywhere. Bridge. Okay, so I have many subjects, different places, various places here, inside and out of the building. Very large city, very large structure. Not sure exactly where I am. Definitely never been there before. I'm gonna try and move to the center of the target to see exactly what I see. There's a lot of there's some water around here, but it's not like a large body of water, but it's definitely noticeable. Might be underneath this bridge of some sort. I have a lot of movement, I hear a lot of noise, a lot of commotion or anxiety, anxiousness. Let me see. I'm gonna, oh God, it's so much going on. It's like it's happening in two different places almost. I'm gonna see what causes this. I'm gonna try and see where the center of all the commotion is for a second. So let me. Move to, where am I going to move? To center of the target. In the center of the target, there's a lot of burnt smells, a lot of heat, a lot of smoke, very gloomy, a lot of fire, a lot of, hear loud cries, roaring, wind type sounds, a lot of cloud dynamics. There's, it's all happening so fast, lots of movement, energy, energetics, things sparking, things, are they exploding? There's something flying overhead. Let's, this is all happening to this city. There's something happening, flying overhead. I can't tell if it's an airplane. It's got a loud sound. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of bad. There's a lot of injuries, blood, there's, no, let me do different colors. Smoke, there is, it looks like over the city. Is it over the city or over a building? You see circular motion of clouds, dust, fire, energetics, a circular motion of colors. Chaos. It feels very angry. The people that are in charge are people. No. Cause of target. There is the cause of the target is, it seems like a group of people. They're brown men, short hair, English or no foreign accents. They have English, but they're speaking English too. I think they're both American and foreign. This seems very terroristic almost, moving into time. Maybe as this is happening, you see something going out of control. You see something sparking in a building. There's a lot of something's going wrong. Something's very, very, very gassy or chemically. You smell, it's a very bad odor. You can smell the chemical or the exhaust, the whatever's causing this. You can smell it noticeably. It's going so fast. It's going so fast. You have something spiraling out of control. It might be overhead. Something went wrong inside of a building at the same time. These are two separate events causing the same catastrophe. I'm not sure if they're connected. It seems very political, very terroristic almost, reminding me of 9/11. It's very out of control but controlled. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Detrimental. You have deaths going on here. I see people in the buildings running, dispersing. I see somewhere in this giant building here, there seems to be bodyguard type men in black. They seem to be protecting somebody or some people. People, bodyguard. Men in black. They seem to be protecting somebody in particular, some people in particular. There's a lot of injuries. They are getting people or someone to safety. This building is very important. It's kind of whitish, you know, or stone color, not necessarily white, but stone. And it seems to have a lot of important people in there, or what seems to be important for a certain situation. It could be anything really. But something's happening around it, causing dismay here, causing a bodyguard or men in black. I'm labeling them as bodyguards. Men in black to rush out into a different destination. You have chaos, you have dismay, you have death, you have injuries, you have fear, confusion. Some people are calm, but maybe they're not necessarily involved in the situation, or maybe they don't care. You have anxiety, anxiousness. It's on high alert. Things are on high alert right now. Red flags jumping. You have men on the ground. You have smoke everywhere. You have, it's the target. The target is hot. Coughing. People are, maybe it's because of the smoke, loud noises. It's very big, life-changing for most. You have a lot of things rushing into the center. You have a lot of things, or people trying to help, but also fleeing. You have a lot of, oh wow, this is, debris. Falling trees, or something's falling out of the sky or from above. This is all in all a chaotic event for this city. I'm not sure how far this spreads out, but I know it's definitely around this main building, and it's definitely around this large city. Yeah, we're gonna hear about this for a while. It seems very wild, planned. You hear people talk about it. You see people converse about it. I'm seeing a lot of, draw them in another color. It might not even be near the target, but you have these men, somebody in charge of the situation. These men are not in this city. They're away from it, but they sent somebody else in. People are this. It was planned, or it doesn't feel like an accident. It feels like something done accidentally on purpose. Very sad, very chaotic event has happened or will be happening. Yeah.
So, that is the news for February 2017, brought to you at the end of January 2017. Now remember, we at Farsight have also used remote viewing in many of our mysteries projects, where we have covered topics as diverse as the 9/11 attacks, the JFK assassination, and the psychology of Adolf Hitler, as well as topics involving UFOs and extraterrestrial life on Mars and Cydonia, the Phoenix Lights, and even what appears to be an ancient alien resort facility on Iapetus, a moon of Saturn. We are also wrapping up a new mysteries project that we will publish in just a few weeks. Our mysteries projects are breathtaking explorations into some of the deepest questions ever raised. When you watch our mysteries projects, you also help us pay the bills for our Time Cross project. So please go to our website and watch one or more of our mysteries projects. In addition, we publish a Farsight vlog twice a week on our Farsight Press YouTube channel. That's the one you're watching right now. Now, the vlog addresses all sorts of topics related to remote viewing, so subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep up with the latest. And again, please try to watch our news analysis as well as the raw news reports each month. Those are 2 separate videos each month for our Time Cross project that you need to watch. Now, let's watch the news for February 2017 to see how well we did with our remote viewing news predictions. Remember, we don't pick the targets, we just report them the month before they happen. Also, you will want to follow our news analysis table on our website in the Time Cross area to see which news events are the highest ranked, all updated daily. Please also consider contributing to the Farsight Institute by going to our website and clicking on the Donate graphic. Every bit helps. We have no corporate or governmental sponsors. Everything we do is because of people who help, people just like you. And if you are fluent in other languages, we can always use volunteers to help translate our videos so we can reach a greater worldwide audience. Check out the links in the describe area below this video. And right now, please remember to subscribe and like and share this video. Help us spread the word. Stay ahead of the curve. Let the mainstream fade in the dust. Be there now.